Okay guys, welcome back. We are still doing footwork runs. I did these runs with my students, but then when we do battles, they totally forget, so why not do these fits, right? And you know, when you're watching this stuff and you like what you see, you can take it. This will not be pure foundation, by the way. This will always be these special variations that make the normal foundation more fresh, right? By doing these variations. And I do these, like when I teach, I usually try to do one or two of these variations each time, right? So they have a lot, but then when you do these battles, they totally forget. So, you know, why not do these fits, right? And so this one, I did the last fit, was something about the 10 step. This will be a similar thing, but I did the tutorial on knee rock. And you know what, I think knee rock is just variation on your foot rock on your knees, right? And this will be actually using that one. So what we're gonna do is the first 4 step of the 6 step when you come from the back. So it's like 1, 2, 3, and 4. So from here, we're gonna step over, but place our knee on the floor. Place the other knee on the floor, step back, so this foot's in the back, and step wide. And here we are at the start again, so we can repeat that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, knee, back, back. 1, 2, 3, 4, knee, back, back, right? Very simple stuff. Now, when you are on your knees, the funny thing is that you are in a perfect position to start any move you like. So in this case, well, if you can do the swipe, for instance, let's do the swipe, fuck it. But really depends on which move you want. But in this case, I'll use the swipe. So I'm going to do this little 8 step 2 times. And then I'm going to go to the swipe. And from the swipe, we can also go back to the knees very easy. I will teach this after this, right? So guys, take a look how I do that. I'm going to do a simple knee rock. Another one, and now place my hand and swipe like that, right? Now, to go from any move to your knees, you need to be careful, because your knees, you cannot train your knees, and you cannot, you know, your knees are actually quite weak. You have to be careful, don't jump on your knees. Maybe it goes right 500 times, right? But one time you're really gonna fuck yourself up. So, to avoid jumping on our knees, there's a trick we're going to use, and that's blocking with the foot. So from that little swipe I just did, what I'm actually going to do is place my foot on the floor, and from my foot I'm going to just glide on my knee a little bit. So let's say I'm in the swipe right now. What I'm going to do is foot, knee, jump up, right? So from this little knee transition, I can do any move. I can also go to the flare, I can also go to the windmill, I can also go to any power move I want. Equally, I can do any footwork step or every freeze I want. Because all you have to practice is to go from your knees to the freeze, or to the elbow, or to the headstand, or to the air flare, I don't know, whatever move you like. So it really depends a little bit on which move you use. But even if you do moves that you're very low, like from the windmill or turtle, I can simply place both knees and continue, right? So in this case we use the swipe, but try to understand that really doesn't matter which move you use. This is very simple. Now when I do this little combo, try to pay attention how I catch myself from the higher move. In this case, that's the swipe, right? But really understand also that even if you can't do swipe, but you can do flares, for instance, you can use the flare on this. Like, it doesn't really matter. It's very easy to go from your knees to a flare. If you have a good flare, it's very easy to go from your knees to a windmill. If you have a good windmill, right? That's all not a problem. Just try to find this little way, guys. So in this case, I'm gonna do 2 times that knee rock 8 step, right? That variation on the 8 step, and then I'm gonna pop into the swipe. Back to my knees, swipe, back to my knees, which is a nice little transition, guys. So take a look how that sort of looks, and then of course you need to practice this, right? Don't if you know the 8 step and the knee roll, that's very good, but you also need to practice that transition with the power move, obviously, right? Otherwise it will never be dope and smooth. So guys, take a look. I'm gonna go this one, right? Let's do it again. Pop into a swipe, pop on my knees. Pop into a swipe, pop on my knees. Continue, right? So as you can see, or I hope you can see it, I don't never jump straight up to my knees. I let the foot hit first, and this will block the fall. So when we see this little move where I jump on my knees, and you really hear that little bump, but in reality, my foot touched first. So when you know the right technique, you sort of can do it, but I really suggest always being careful with the knees. I hate wearing knee pads myself, but there's a solution if you jump a lot on your knees, but really just be careful with them. Try to find ways that it's at least smooth, guys. So practice this little knee rock and then try to jump into power moves. Because from the knees, I can equally simply jump into a windmill, right? It doesn't really matter which move it is. So I'm going to do the same one. Pop, jump into windmill, go on my knees, right? So it's very easy. You see that you can really use this, and also for the freezes. So it's quite an important weapon, especially if you're not that good at transitions yet. Just use this knee position. Practice your moves from the knee position. You can do all that stuff, right? So quite a nice one, guys. See you next time.